dominated by American companies, and most of their footprint is based in North America. However, a recent wave of investment has driven a lot of the builds into Europe. Speaking to me now is Bertrand Delatte, Head of Data Center Solutions for Europe at Siemens, who talks about how the market has shifted in the past 2 years and what the company is doing to help drive the market growth. Bertrand, thanks a lot for talking to me. What has driven this shift of investment, or this arrival of investment in Europe, let's say it that way?
I mean, this expansion of the US players into Europe is not new. In fact, what we see is that in the last, especially in the last 2 years, a tremendous acceleration. You even see, and this is across Europe, you even see it also from some Asian investors, even if you compare also into what they're doing in their own continents, so in the US and in Asia, the acceleration in Europe is less exponential, unfortunately, but still there, and as I said, there is an acceleration. You can see it through, in fact, new hotspots. You had the famous or traditional flaps with Frankfurt, London, Amsterdam, Paris, Stockholm. You see new spots, Milano, Vienna, Madrid, Oslo, Copenhagen. So in fact, it's expanding. What is also interesting is that where you have US major player and Asian player, you don't have a major or a group of major European cloud provider. This is possibly due to also the fact that we have data regulation in Europe which are very strong, meaning we assume we will see the development of, let's say, more regional and local players versus to larger player like in the US.
Okay, which will drive a lot of M&A, which we like. And then a lot of this expansion is driven by the rise in consumption by consumers of IoT devices and the growth of data. Where is this data going to be stored and processed?
What you see is that each organization, being a society, public, in the public sector or corporation, enterprise, they are all going through a massive digital revolution. So they need to process data, and especially they need to have computing capacity close to the devices. And this cannot be processed only in the cloud service, but close to the devices. So for this you will have distributed solutions or networks, and this is what the industry calls the edge.
Edge computing. Yeah.
Edge computing.
Yeah. But the more we build, the more we have to run, so the more power, the more energy, and the more expensive it becomes. How can operators sort of ensure that they bring down costs and increase profitability as well, because we want to have good financial results at the end of the quarter, without impacting the uptime of the data center?
There is one word, in fact, it's transparency. Transparency in your data center, transparency in your operations, transparency in the security, meaning the IT security, but also the physical security, transparency in all the safety systems, transparency in the buildings, so with management systems, to reach what? Transparency also on the costs. So at the end, it's all about managing transparency.
Okay, and then if we slightly go back to the edge topic, another big topic that comes always hand in hand with edge is 5G. A lot of fiber optic infrastructure has already been deployed around the world. Has this been in vain with 5G coming on board now?
No, definitely not, because the fiber optic industry is the essence of any data center development. I was mentioning before the flaps, so these hotspots, there you have fiber optic infrastructure. So it's a mandatory condition, and this is also a limitation if you don't have this fiber optic. Now, as we were talking previously also on the IoT development, an alternative to the fiber optic is the edge, which with the telecom 5G could, let's say, mitigate the fiber optic limitations.
Okay. Well, what sorts of threats do you see within the 5G space? Because there's a lot of talks about cybersecurity and espionage and everything. What sorts of threats do you sort of envision in the 5G network?
I'd like to envision it. The thing is, The thing is, unfortunately, it's already happening. What we observe is a sort of standardization of cyber criminality, which will impact 5G, like any other IT infrastructure. You have where before you had a lot of isolated hackers. Now you see some small, medium enterprise which have a structure organization with sales, with SLA, and they are providing you cyber attacks. So today you can just give them exactly. So in fact you can even talk about cybercrime as a service, and this is a threat already today, but you need to mitigate. And one way of mitigating this is to have an holistic approach, holistic security approach on the IT security as well as on the facility management security. Also bringing, in fact, all the dimensions together, people, process, technology, and this in a life cycle, so that you permanently improved your solutions and mitigate the threats.
Okay, and then along with cybersecurity, another big challenge, even for data center operators, not just 5G, is power. The more we consume, the more we have to pay for. We've already sort of touched a few questions before, but what can the industry really do about this? So we are Data Cloud, for example, one of the main topics of the moment really is renewable energy and how operators can come into the green movement, let's call it that way. What can companies do about power and try sort of balance or manage or make the power usage greener? What can they do?
And the first thing the major player mainly needs to do is to secure their supply chain of energy. So this is the major challenge, and there Siemens, we try to help them in that direction. But this is mainly for the centralized large data center. But you will see also expansion through the territory. We were talking about edge, and there also you will need to have alternative solutions like decentralized storage energy, and this is the future. It's, in fact, it's a very near future.
Right, very near, 2 years.
Even before that, it's already becoming a topic.
Okay,
it's a topic.
And then last question: we are Data Clouds in Monaco. What does a conference like this do to a brand like yourself? What does a conference like this mean to your brand? What is it important for you to attend?
It's mainly, of course, networking, meeting customers, but also meeting partners. For us, Siemens is also positioning our brand, but also strengthening our ecosystems as we work with partners towards our customers' needs.
Okay, Bertrand, thanks a lot for talking to me.
Thank you, Joe.
Don't forget you can follow Data Economy on Facebook, LinkedIn and Twitter, and also visit the website on www.data-economy.com.